Hello there! Today we will talk about a fascinating and important aspect at the core of human existence, meaning in life. What is the image that comes to your mind when you think about the words meaning in life? A wise man with a long beard? A philosophical debate? To most people, these words represent a blurry, complex, abstract notion, floating somewhere in the world of ideas. But actually, it is one of the most basic and daily components of our human existence and experience. Meaning lies at the core of the force that drives humans to act. It starts with the most basic question children ask from a young age, the question of why. They want to understand the world and their place in it. It continues with the same why a student asks in a class when he or she experiences alienation and disengagement because they feel that what they learn is not meaningful to them. And it ends with employees quitting their jobs, even the highest paying ones, because they feel they lack meaning and significance. In fact, the question is not what is the meaning of life, which is a broad question. The meaning of life refers to all mankind, and it is more related to the sphere of the theological, philosophical. But rather, what is the meaning in life? The question of the meaning in life refers to our personal experience of meaning. In other words, we don't need to understand the meaning of life in order to discover the meaning in our lives, the potential for meaning that exists in each and every moment of our lives. The question of meaning is ancient and universal. Throughout the history of humankind, humans have searched for meaning in their lives through myths, quests, journeys, art, philosophy, and religion. It's in the core of human experience and existence, and as far as we know, it is uniquely human. We also know that children from a young age reflect on the big questions in life, including questions of meaning. But while in the past we could rely on traditions to provide value, structure, and anchors for such a search, and to establish goals and frameworks for living, today, with the dissolution of many of our traditions and structures, the search for meaning, for essence and purpose, and the desire for mystery and transcendence have become prominent features of the postmodern world. Today, the question of meaning arises again, more forcefully than ever before. The question of what for. These days, more and more people search for something extra, something beyond waking up in the morning, going to work, watching TV, going to sleep, and then doing it all over again the next day. In an age of social media and a rapidly changing digital world, the focus is usually on the immediate horizon. Today's world is competitive and restless, and the values people hold sacred are often faster, fancier, stronger, higher. In the age of abundance, on the one hand, we have more opportunities than ever. And on the other hand, the pressure to accomplish and to be successful only increases, presenting considerable challenges. The education system is affected by this as well. The model for success is shaped according to this culture's material and competitive needs. often characterized by a rat race for grades and achievements that will pave the way for highly rewarding educational institutions and careers. But the linear model of materialistic success that leads to well-being, meaning, and happiness has been refuted by many studies. The main reason for this is the phenomenon of hedonic adaptation, or what has been known as the hedonic treadmill. According to this phenomenon, humans quickly adapt to physical and sensual changes, both positive and negative. In other words, changes in circumstances and external life conditions, such as changing our place of residence, plastic surgery, winning the lottery, a promotion at work, and so on, affect our level of well-being only temporarily, and later we adapt to the change and take the new states for granted. In fact, the more assets we accumulate and the more achievements we obtain, the more we grow accustomed to it and the higher our expectations. Furthermore, not only does materialism not necessarily lead to better well-being, research has shown that it might even lead to more misery. A very interesting series of studies that looked at the dark side of the American dream, or the impact of life goals that focus on material success and financial wealth, has found that people who saw material success as their primary goal in life had lower well-being and life satisfaction, lower social function and adaptation, and higher levels of depression and anxiety. An extreme example for that can be found in today's cultural heroes and the image of Hollywood stars or other celebrities, who often appear to enjoy financial wealth, fame, success, and material abundance, but are not truly happy. They even experience a sense of eternal emptiness, internal void, that they try to fill with external solutions, such as addictions, risk-taking, and suicide attempts. A classical example of that is the tragic 27 Club, or Forever 27. Lack of meaning has been found to be related to depression, delinquent or criminal behavior, and addictions. When we talk about well-being or wellness, we usually refer to a combination of two broad and complementary approaches that are accepted in current professional literature. The first is the hedonistic. The hedonistic approach refers to increasing positive emotions and decreasing negative emotions. It is primarily focused on the here and now. It is often short-termed and experienced through our senses, like for example a good meal. The second approach is the eudaimonic. Its origins come from the Greek concept of daimon, which means true self. It is related to optimal experience, growth, and development derived from living in accordance with one's true self and values. It is less related to invoking short-term positive emotions and pleasure, and more to the satisfaction we gain from facing challenges, making an effort, and the experience of meaning, purpose, and fulfillment. Raising children, for example, or getting a degree are not necessarily always pleasant, but they do reflect a meaningful experience of profound growth and development. The significance of having an internal compass to navigate us is even stronger today, when we have more freedom and choice than ever before, and at the same time, too much choice. The paradox of choice, which is characterized in a paralysis, avoidance, a sense of missing out, and regret. An addiction to the hedonistic pleasure machine that never satisfies us for long, or in adopting a rigid ideology that lacks flexibility, or being carried away by ready-made answers, such as in radical religions, cults, and so on. Recently, integrative frameworks have been formed, which include three main dimensions of meaning: The first is comprehension, the second is purpose, and the third is a sense of mattering or significance. Meaning is defined as individual sense that their lives is comprehensible, that it makes sense, and has order, continuity, and coherence. It's the feeling that our lives, experiences, and events are woven together into a coherent whole. This is the more cognitive component of comprehension and making sense. This aspect is related to the feeling that you are a part of history, a part of a tradition, of something that is greater than yourself. That the dots of your life's events can be connected together to form a whole. Consider your life story for a moment, the choices you've made which have brought you thus far, or the family tree assignment that students are often given to better understand their roots, which allows them to feel they are part of a broad historical and family chain. That was the first component. The second component is the sense that we have a goal, direction, and purpose that is guiding our life. It is the motivational component that drives us to action, a sense of purpose. Take a moment to remember a goal that was important to you, that filled you with a sense of purpose, that motivated you, gave you a reason to wake up in the morning and strive for it, even if there were difficulties and challenges along the way. The third component is the feeling that my existence is valuable and significant. It is the existential and emotional component of mattering or significance. In other words, it's the feeling that who we are and what we do is visible and valuable to the world, that we are not transparent, that we matter. Take a moment to remember a person who made you feel that your existence is valuable, someone who believed in you before you even did. How did it feel? Perhaps you are such a meaningful person for others. Research consistently shows that meaning has a profound ongoing impact on our lives and significantly contributes to our well-being and to our ability to cope, as well as to our mental strength and physical health, including longevity. For example, studies have shown that meaning is directly related to positive emotions, satisfaction with life, optimism, and accepting and positive self-image, vitality, psychological adaptation and flexibility, and also to wider psychosocial implications such as empathy, compassion, and generosity. In the educational context, a high level of meaning in life was found to be an important protective factor, which allows better coping with stresses and acts as a buffer for exposure to risk factors, especially during adolescence. For example, it was found to play a protective role in prevention and coping with violence, addictions, and risk-taking, as well as a key component for taking responsibility, internal motivation, academic success, determination, grit, academic achievements, and involvement in the community. While having a sense of meaning in life has been consistently found to contribute to our well-being, the search for meaning presents a more complex picture, both conceptually and empirically. Some researchers, therapists, and philosophers believe that the search for meaning is a fundamental element of human life and is therefore a natural human motivation, what Viktor Frankl calls the will to meaning. It differentiates between this will and Freud's will for pleasure and Adler's will to power, as part of the Viennese school of which Frankl belonged.
People have by and large, I am stressing, the means to live by, but they cannot see any meaning to live for. And this is what is haunting them ever more. It leads up to a mass neurotic triad, a mass neurotic syndrome, which could be divided into 3 symptoms: aggression, addiction, and depression.
Others, on the other hand, view the search for meaning in life as a warning sign for meaninglessness. Empirical research on the topic has found that the search for meaning is related with lower satisfaction with life, more anxiety, depression, and rumination. But studies have also shown that the search for meaning is also related to positive outcomes, such as openness, vitality and drive, involvement and absorption. Scholars suggested, based on Marcia's theory of identity formation, that meaning in life, like identity, is formed through the interaction between exploration and commitment. Exploration, experimentation, and investigation, or active search, and obligation, commitment by choice. While a sense of meaning in life can be viewed as representing commitment, the search for meaning may function similarly to processes of identity exploration and investigation. Developmentally, the search for personal meaning begins relatively early in our development. It is a powerful driving force in forming healthy identity of children and youth. However, in our rapid and fast-paced world, the significance that is attributed to accomplishments and competitiveness as external indicators might damage this natural developmental process. The pursuit of external goals often empties feelings of pleasure, satisfaction, connection, and significance, and might evoke anxiety and emptiness, or an existential vacuum, which is manifested primarily through boredom or disengagement. The findings of a broad study conducted by Professor William Damon from Stanford University and his colleagues showed that many young people today experience dissatisfaction, apathy, and confusion. They feel disengaged, drifters in the world without a clear direction or a sense of purpose to their lives. Without support and direction, these feelings may amplify a sense of lack of control, ambivalence, and anxiety adolescents feel about their future, and lead them toward the developmental paralysis and stagnation. On the other hand, commitment to a goal that has a personal meaning improves self-worth and provides a sense of purpose, control, and agency. Let's briefly discuss sources of meaning and the importance of relationships to meaning in life. It is important that we have diverse sources for meaning. For example, if work is a major source of meaning for us, and we are told that we are about to be fired, the mere fact that we have other sources of meaning in life, such as family or volunteering, could compensate for the temporary loss of work as a source of meaning. Empirical studies in the field indicate that there are 4 primary categories of sources of meaning. The first category includes sources of meaning involving self-transcendence, a contribution to a cause larger than ourselves, beyond our personal needs, and a connection to a supreme power. The second category refers to sources of meaning involving the fulfillment and realization of our potential, based on awareness and recognition of our values, strengths, and abilities, and living in alignment with them. The third category includes sources of meaning involving a sense of belonging, of being a part of something. It can be, for example, a religious affiliation or an ethnic, cultural, or social tradition that is meaningful to us. It brings a sense of order and continuity to our lives. The fourth category involves relationships and a connection to life, meaning that can be experienced in life's small and big moments. Research shows that these sources are not equal in their influence, although they are, of course, interconnected. Specifically, it was found that relationships, or a sense of connection and relation to others, has a primary role in experiencing meaning in life. A sense of connection includes various kinds of relationships, for example, with other people, with society at large, with nature, and with the transcendent. People who perceive themselves as part of a group, for example, report higher levels of meaning and fulfillment, while people who perceive themselves as socially isolated report a loss of meaning. The central part of connections and good relationships with others in experiencing meaning in life emphasizes the significance of relationships in education systems. This is true for educators, since good work relations can amplify their sense of meaning and calling in work, as well as their sense of well-being and significant contribution to their students. This is also true for students, for whom an experience of connection and caring in the educational environment can work wonders on the experience of meaning, and on their investment in their studies, achievements, and well-being. Thank you.